Hello and welcome to Normal to Formal Podcast, episode number 23. I'm your host, Tia Young. I'm the founder of Tia Young Image and Etiquette. I help my clients learn the soft skills for success through professional development and etiquette training. This podcast is for people that want to increase their social skills and earning potential and grow from normal to formal. The topic for today's podcast is mask etiquette. Now that it's mandatory to wear masks in public settings, I want to share some guidelines with you on how to select mask, wear mask, wash mask, and to be considerate when wearing mask. I always like to use the CDC guidelines. They're always the go-to for anything health related. And of course, CDC stands for Center for Disease Control and Prevention. On their page, they do have an area about masks. And I want to share some of those guidelines along with things that I've encountered as we've had to adhere to this guideline. The CDC recommends that you wear masks in public settings around people who don't live in your household and when you can't stay 6 feet away from others. Masks help stop the spread of COVID-19 to others. For an overview, you want to wear masks with 2 or more layers to stop the spread of COVID-19. Wear the mask over your nose and mouth and secure it under your chin. Masks should be worn by people 2 years and older. Masks should not be worn by children younger than 2, people who have trouble breathing, or people who cannot remove the mask without assistance. Do not wear masks intended for healthcare workers, for example, the N95 respirators. And the CDC does not recommend the use of gaiters or face shields. Evaluation of these face covers is ongoing, but effectiveness is unknown at this time. First of all, how to select your mask. When selecting a mask, there are many choices, and the following are some do's and don'ts. You do want to choose a mask that has 2 or more layers of washable, breathable fabric. I like to wear the disposable ones that I wear just one time and then I get another one for the next time I go out in public. What I have noticed in the past is when I have worn that mask again, like the second day, that I begin to get a bump on my face because of the irritation. Maybe the oil's getting caught because I'm breathing warm air in and out and it's getting in my pores. So you have to be careful of that. Also, breath. Fresh breath. You notice your breath a lot more now that you're wearing the mask. So fresh breath, because it's you that have to smell it. And also a clean face. I do wear makeup, so I have to wear less now. And maybe no lipstick at all because it's going to get on the mask and then maybe cause irritation on the skin. So washable, more than 1 layer, and breathable fabric. You see a lot of people with those designs, which are gorgeous, but you just have to take care and wash those properly. Also, you do want to completely cover your nose and mouth. It does get hot under those masks, but you have to cover that nose and mouth completely. And then it should fit snugly against the sides of your face and don't have gaps. Do not choose masks that are made of fabric that makes it hard to breathe, for example, vinyl. So no matter how cute it might be, I've seen the sparkly sequin ones and the studded ones with the crystals on them. You might not be able to breathe comfortably in that type. Also, do not use a mask that have exhalation valves or vents which allow virus particles to escape. And do not wear masks that are intended for healthcare workers, including N95 respirators or surgical masks. Caution: the type of mask called gaiters and face shields. Evaluation is ongoing, but effectiveness is unknown at this time for gaiters. That's spelled Gaiters. And that's the face mask that looks like a turtleneck, but it comes all the way up and covers your nose and mouth. Those aren't the most effective at this time. Evaluation is ongoing, but effectiveness is unknown at this time. Also, for face shields, that's to kind of go around your head like a headband, and then the clear shield covers your eyes, nose, and mouth. Special situations: if you wear glasses, find a mask that fits closely over your nose or one that has a nose wire to limit fogging. And for special situations for children, if you are able, find a mask that is made for children. Of course, they're going to be smaller. Instead of taking an adult mask and having it fit the child by tying the elastic bands a little bit tighter, try to find the ones that fit their smaller face. If you cannot find a mask made for children, check to be sure the mask fits snugly over the nose and mouth and under the chin. And do not put on children younger than 2 years old. And the reason for that is they might not be able to breathe properly, and they might not be able to take it off and let you know that. How to wear your mask. You want to wear a mask correctly and consistently for the best protection. My daughter and I were out enjoying lunch the other day, and of course, I live in Florida and it's very hot. And just walking through a sidewalk shopping area where they have restaurants and shops, it's enjoyable, but it gets hot and your face really starts to heat up. So I would occasionally lift my mask, take a deep breath, breathe out, and then put it back on. So be careful when you're out in the heat. Be sure to wash your hands before putting on your mask, and do not touch the mask when wearing it. I've seen a lot of people wearing a mask the wrong way, and you do not want to wear a mask like the following. Do not wear a mask in the following ways: around your neck. And most times people forget that they forgot to put it back on their nose and mouth, and they kind of put it down around their neck for a moment and forgot to put it back up. Also, not on your forehead, not under your nose, or only on your nose, on your chin. Sometimes when we move it down, when we're in an area that's more open, we'll put it down under our chin and then forget to put it back up when we're around people. You don't want to have it dangling from one ear or on your arm. We tend to forget that we have to keep it on at all times when in public settings. When you take your mask off, you want to carefully untie the strings behind your head or stretch the ear loops for the elastic bands. And you want to handle only the ear loops or ties. Don't touch the mask. That's where all the germs are. Then you want to fold it outside corners together. So you're folding the outside part in, almost inverted. Be careful not to touch your eyes, nose, and mouth when removing, and wash your hands immediately after removing. Another thing to keep in mind when you're dining out or you're around friends, don't take that mask off and put it on the table, because those germs are now going to be spread onto the table that you're enjoying a meeting, or if you're enjoying a meal, don't put it on the table. And then cleaning your mask. I use the disposable one so I don't have to clean it, and they're not suitable for cleaning anyway. They're for one use, and then you throw it away and get another one the next time you go out in public. But if you have the masks that are fabric that you can wash, they should be washed regularly, and you want to keep several around. So if you're washing a few, you can have a few still available. Always remove your mask correctly. Wash your hands after handling or touching a unused mask. Include a mask with your regular laundry. Use regular laundry detergent and the warmest appropriate water settings for the cloth used to make the mask. And use the highest heat setting and leave in your dryer until completely dry. Or you can have it air dry, but in bright sunlight is best. Other things to keep in mind: wear a mask to protect others. Wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth. Wear a mask in public settings when around people who don't live in your household, especially when it may be difficult for you to stay 6 feet apart. Wear the mask correctly for maximum protection. Don't touch the mask. And if you do, wash your hands or use hand sanitizer to disinfect. When you go out in public, stay at least 6 feet away from others. Avoid contact with people who are sick. And a lot of times you can't tell if they're sick or not unless you actually see them coughing or have some kind of other symptoms that let you know they may be sick. Wash your hands often. Use soap and water for at least 20 seconds each time. And use hand sanitizer if soap and water are not available. I was recently invited to a gathering at a restaurant, a private event. There were probably about, let's say, 15 people there. And going in and leaving, of course, the restaurant, we're wearing our mask through because we don't want to walk through where there are people without our mask. But then when we got to the private room, I noticed that people just casually just took their mask off and start socializing as if this room is going to protect us from the virus. So we have to still make sure that even in private settings, private rooms, you're around people that don't live with you. You can't keep a 6-foot distance at a dining table. There are tables of about 6 to 8 people. So of course I was sitting next to my husband, but then on the other side it was someone that was also invited to the event that of course they could have spread the virus too. So you have to keep that in mind. When you're eating, you have to take your mask off, but it is recommended at restaurants that you keep your mask on anytime you're not eating. So entering and leaving, of course, and then also if you're not eating, the food is not there yet, they want you to keep your mask on. Nobody's going to come in and tell you, put your mask back on. But the staff will always have their mask on. So it's up to you to be safe. Nobody's going to be the police, the mask police. You have to take care of that yourself. I also went to an event that was outside. It's also recommended if you do attend events, because now people are getting stir crazy. They want to get out, see their friends, and socialize. Keep the guidelines in mind whenever you go out. Don't relax it, because as soon as you get sick, you're going to be quarantined for a couple weeks. Even if nobody else has their mask on, you want to wear yours. Just recently, I attended an outside event with my family. And even though it was outside, we were still in close proximity to each other. So if you can't keep that 6-foot distance, wear your mask. Even if you're the only ones wearing your mask, it's up to you to be safe. You can't control what anyone else does. I've seen news stories about people arguing with those that enter a building or a store or a restaurant without their mask, and they're having a fight over it. Now you have a choice. You can politely, ask them, do you mind wearing your mask or standing 6 feet apart? But you don't want to go up to them and say, the CDC says you have to do this or you need to leave, because it's going to start a big fight. It's up to you. You can leave or you can stand 6 feet apart from that person if possible. I'm the kind of person that avoids any kind of confrontation. So if I can remove myself, that's what I do. School has started back also. My daughter's just started college, and half the classes are online, but there are a couple that are in person. So she currently only has to attend in person 2 days a week, and the other 3 days she does the classes online. So she's careful when she does go and wears her mask when she is in class, and they have them spread out. At least that 6 feet distance when they are in class. She told me one of the classes they had too many people, so they made it 2 classrooms that they were able to teach in and not just one, so they can have that distance. So it's very important that we don't spread the virus, especially at school. And a lot of parents need that time they prefer their child to be there after school, along with learning at home. It's very difficult for full-time working parents to also homeschool. I'm a former 2nd grade teacher. I know how difficult it is to teach because that's a full-time job in itself, and then being a parent at home and working also at home. So after a long day with that mask on, your face is going to be very irritated.